Hello everybody, Krista here. I wanted to do this video because I noticed when I was starting out how truly difficult it is to learn tarot. I think a lot of people don't really know just how much of a commitment it really is and how much research and time needs to be put into it to get, as much as you can out of it. I also know that when I first started out, of course, I was introduced to the Rider-Waite Smith tarot deck. And so, of course, I picked that up since it's suggested for beginners. And honestly, I didn't like it at all. I have great respect for it. I know it's a great deck. I know many, many, many people use it. But personally, me, I don't mesh with it well. So, because of that, I put it down for a little bit, and I really didn't do as much study as I would have liked. And I kind of regret putting it down and not doing some more research because there are many, many, many decks out there. The only downfall is when you're starting out, say you go pick up a guidebook, because all there is really with a deck most of the time is a little white book that comes with it. You go pick out a guidebook, and of course, about 80% of those guidebooks when you are first starting out are going to be illustrating the cards from the Rider-Waite tarot deck. And it's really hard when you're trying to learn all these symbols and you're reading this guidebook and then you go pick up your deck and the pictures are completely different and you can't really connect them very easily. And it actually ends up taking a much longer time. Now there are decks out there that you can buy that have a book accompanied with them. But I really feel like if you want a very strong foundation in tarot, you should go with a deck in the beginning. Now people aren't, not everybody's going to agree with me on this, but you really should try to find a deck that is Rider-Waite based. Of course, there's many different kinds that follow the same symbology. I have 3 right here that I actually want to introduce to you guys, and then I have 2 others that I want to talk about as well that are maybe for somebody that has bought a few decks and hasn't really connected with them. So the first, besides of course the Rider-Waite deck, which I'm going to compare these other 2 decks to, is the Beginner's Guide to Tarot by Juliet Sherman Burke. Now, the cards, if you end up picking up a few guidebooks and you end up reading, you are going to be able to connect the cards very, very easily with what you end up reading. So as you can see here, the Fool, they're walking in the same direction. They're both walking off a cliff. There's a beautiful, bright, bright white sun. There's his dog accompanying him. There's the white rose. So you get that same symbology. You get, you can soak that up and it'll be a lot easier to learn the cards, especially because there's just so many that you have to learn. I mean, if you really, really, if you really invest your time, you're really gonna be surprised with how much study it is gonna take. Again let me show you the Tower card. They're very, very similar. There's the thrashing water, they're falling, there's the lightning, there's the fire. You're going to be able to connect those cards very, very easily. I'm going to show you another couple cards from this deck. So there's the Tower that I just showed you. And then we have the Sun. We have the traditional bright big sun. We got the little boy on the horse, the sunflowers. So it'll be very easy to work with this deck. We have the hand coming out from the sky holding a rod, which I like to call them wands, but everybody's different. And the Two of Swords. See, we have her, and she's right on the cover of this too. We have her blindfolded and holding 2 swords crossed. And for the King of Cups. You know, he's sitting there with his chalice. He's got the blue robe on. He's got the water. So, I mean, it's going to be very traditional in that sense. So it's going to be very, very easy to pick up on that deck. Now this one, I just wanted to say is it might take a little bit more time. If you have a background knowledge of herbs, this will be a wonderful, wonderful deck to work with. Or if you are Wiccan and you know, you have a great baseline of herbs and their correspondences, it's going to be wonderful for you to pick up this deck. This is called the Herbal Tarot, and it's by Michael Terra and Candace Canton, and it's by US Game Systems Inc. So the first card, we have the Fool. We got the Sun. He's got a red rose in this one, but he's just walking. He's walking off the cliff. Traditionally, that's that's the new beginning. This is the back, just so I can show you what it looks like. You know, you can do reversals if you want to learn reversals with this deck. It is possible. Here's the Tower with the fire and the lightning. So very traditional. Again, it'll be very easy to pick that up. The sun, the great big bright sun, and each card has a corresponding herb. So, you know, if you have a great wealth of knowledge in herbs, this will be an amazing, amazing deck to work with. Ace of Wands, Two of Swords. See, she's got her blindfold on and she's got her swords crossed. You know, the ocean is behind her. Very traditional. Very easy to connect to any guidebooks. It'll be very, very easy to learn using this deck. And King of Cups. So, I really want to stress that, you know, if you work with any of these decks, the Rider-Waite, the Herbal Tarot, or the Beginner's Guide to Tarot, they're all wonderful in their own right. They're going to be very easy to work with. And in that, out of the three, my favorite definitely is this, The Beginner's Guide to Tarot, just because the book is so incredible. I mean, looking in the book, see Four of Wands, there is a theme written down for each card, and I find that so good when you're in the middle of a reading and you just need to know, get a feel for what that card's energy is. Again, you know, you can look up a time to reap rewards, Four of Wands. So it really helps in that way. It's a great, great guidebook, and a great deck in its own right. So I also wanted to talk to you guys about these two decks. Now, again, these two are great for beginners. They are, if you have some background knowledge of tarot, and you have bought a few decks and you've worked with them, these decks are going to be great to work with because you have that little bit of basic knowledge that you need to work with these cards. Now this is called Tarot of the Old Path. Just want to show you what the backs look like. Not the path, the back. Beautiful flowers and ivy. I'm going to show you each of the cards, and as you can see, they kind of relate to the Rider-Waite deck. You know, there is some symbology in it that relates. As you can see, you know, we have the Fool here, and he is on a road to a new path. You know, and there's up here, there's like some path. So on his new path, he's going to have to make decisions. You know, he's on a new road. So I really like that Fool card, and I also like the little baby down here sticking his hand in the fire, and the mom is just like, oh my goodness. So it's a really, I like this deck a lot. When I was first really learning, it's a great deck to use. I mean, it's very, very Wiccan based. So if you are Wiccan and you want to explore tarot, this is a great deck to work with. This is a tower. There was actually a coven that helped produce all the symbology in this deck, working with the illustrator and the writer to create this deck. So every card has a pagan theme to it. So there's Stonehenge in the background. So every card really does have that, and that's nice. It'll be really comfortable. But then again, pulling your meaning from this card, for some strange reason, in a way, I can understand, having to make a choice, but it's kind of, I just don't pick it up at all, and I don't really like that. But if you want to give it a go, I totally suggest trying this deck out. It's very simple. The artwork is very, very simple. You won't have trouble picking up on any of it. And lastly, this is the deck that I'm currently working with. It's called Tarot Mucha. And I really like this because it comes with a nice, sturdy little guidebook. Now, I want you to know the guidebook isn't all in English. It only goes up to page 71. So if you want to see, so all of this is in English. All this. So it's still really, really, really a great deck for newbies. I'm going to show you a few cards, just the same cards that I've been showing you with each of the other decks. This is the Fool. There's more females in this deck, which I like personally, but everybody's different. But oh, and of course here's the back. I don't read in reversals, so this deck appeals to me very much. That doesn't bother me. I know some people, they like the mystery of being able to not know if the card's going to be reversed or not. So in that essence, there's a Fool. Here's a Tower. So basic, again, you see the lightning, you see the tower, people falling. So, and here we go again. See, we have the sun, and we have a little boy riding on a horse with the sunflowers. This is Art Nouveau. The style of the art, I really, really like it. I really like how it's Rider-Waite, but it's not. The art is more, I don't want to say well done, because I don't like the typical art of the Rider-Waite deck. I like how much more time it must have taken to do the artwork for this deck. Here we go. As you can see, same thing. She's got her blindfold, she's got her swords crossed. And finally, the King of Cups. So, basically, it really just comes down to preference. Depending on how you want to learn, whether you want to take a class, whether, if you want to just teach yourself, it all depends on what you'd like. If you're looking for a guidebook to go along with any of the decks that I've shown you here today, this is a really amazing, amazing book, The Ultimate Guide to Tarot. I highly, highly suggest it. It's great for beginners. I mean, for the major arcana, they have, the astrology, the Kabbalah meanings, his wisdom message. They have the symbols and what the symbols mean, and they have even a sample reading that you can do to get the energies from that card. It's amazing. It really is. It's a great, great book. They have sample spreads, so highly, highly suggest you pick this up. If you're learning, definitely, definitely, definitely love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, let me know what you guys think, and, if you would like a more in-depth review on any of these decks, please let me know. And, yeah, thank you. Have a good day.